Hi there, I'm David from DEB Chartered Accountants. This video will explain the additional costs that subcontractors will soon face with the introduction of MTD, or Making Tax Digital. Hitherto, most subcontractors have not done any bookkeeping, though as self-employed people, supposedly in business on their own behalf, they really should have done. Further, they have not had fully balanced accounts prepared for them by their accountants, as they were not prepared to pay an accountant what it would cost to do such accounts. Subcontractors generally perceive a good accountant as one that charges them the least amount of money and yet gets them back the largest tax refund, regardless of the position. That recklessly claiming overstated expenses that can't be substantiated can leave them in. In this regard, it's very true what they say, that cheap is not good, and that good is not cheap. If you get charged little by your accountant, there is probably a very good reason for this. Given the low amount that subcontractors traditionally have been willing to pay, then inevitably the accountants have responded by providing a minimal service to subcontractors that reflect the amount that is paid to them. Full accounts prepared from properly prepared bookkeeping is not done. Instead, a simple income and expenditure account is prepared using the subcontractor's monthly vouchers to provide the income figure at the top and summarising a fistful of invoices supplemented by estimates to provide the numbers for their expenditure. With the introduction of MTD, all this will change. Subcontractors, like all self-employed businesses, will be required to do bookkeeping in a digital program, directly from which they will be required to make quarterly reports to HMRC. After their year end, they will then need full accounts prepared on digital software from which all adjustments for tax purposes will need to be made and again be digitally notified to HMRC. So what are the additional costs that subcontractors are likely to face? First of all, let's assume that they will be leaving everything that is needed to be done to their accountants. The charges made by accountants to subcontractors will in this instance inevitably increase. There's the cost of providing software to do the accounts. We'll discuss software costs a little later. However, I would expect that some accountants, in order to minimise costs, would do bookkeeping on a spreadsheet and then use what is called a bridging program to submit quarterly returns to HMRC. The providers of bridging software charge around £15 per submission. So 4 quarterly reports to be made, therefore this would cost at least £60 to cover. Of course, the accountant is not going to do your bookkeeping for nothing, nor stand the risk involved in making the quarterly returns to HMRC 4 times a year without charging for this. No accountant worth his salt would take on this onerous responsibility for less than, say, £50 a quarter as an absolute minimum. Thus, for 4 quarters at £50, that would be £200 additional costs. At the year end, the accountant will no longer be able to summarise the numbers in 3-line accounts and simply add this limited data to the subcontractor's tax returns. Instead, they will have to do full accounts on additional software that they in turn will have to pay for. This is not going to be done as cheaply as they currently charge for doing shortcut income and expenditure accounts. Say you currently pay £200 to £300 to your accountant. I would expect that this is likely to increase by at least £100. Thus, the cost of accountants doing it all for you, if indeed he has the time and resources to do all this extra work in the first place, will be the original cost, let's say a rock bottom minimum of £150. Add to this the cost of the bridging software of £60 and the cost of quarterly bookkeeping and reporting of £200. This gives a total cost of £410. You should also bear in mind that one-man band accountants working from home, who often act for subcontractors, may no longer have the time or resources to do all the additional work required under the new MTD requirements. They may need to take on staff, and the cost of bookkeepers is increasing due to MTD. As a consequence, they may also not be able to cope from their home premises, and indeed need to go out and rent premises. All round, the cheaper accountants will face additional costs, which they presumably will have to pass on in their prices that they charge. So the above mentioned cost of £410 has every chance of being much higher. All of a sudden, the so-called cheaper accountants will no longer be as cheap as they have been hitherto. In order to reduce their costs, it makes sense for subcontractors to accept that they now have to get used to doing bookkeeping themselves. So let's look how the costs of this might pan out. We'll be doing a new video to show you how to minimise the time it takes for subcontractors to do their bookkeeping. So keep an eye open for that. If you do bookkeeping yourself, then you will first need to obtain MTD compatible software. To give you some idea of what this will cost, I've done a price comparison of the leading providers. Ignoring the reductions for introductory offers, usually for the first months to draw you in, the price for QuickBooks Simple Start package is £12 per month. Xero's lowest offering is their Starter package, which costs £10 per month. And Free Agent is £19 per month plus VAT. So prices range from between £120 to £228. You could reduce the software costs if you're good with spreadsheets and can cope with digital linking to bridging software. However, if you can cope with this, you probably could earn more money as a bookkeeper than you can by being a subcontractor. Even if you do your own bookkeeping and quarterly submissions to HMRC, you are still likely to be faced with higher accountancy costs, as your accountant will no longer be able to do simplified income and expenditure accounts. How much more remains to be seen. However, subcontractors will certainly face higher accountancy fees in addition to the software costs. At DB, we've always provided a lot of help for subcontractors. Why? Because over the years we have seen clients starting as subcontractors develop into much larger and profitable businesses. It thus pays us to look after our subcontractor clients. At DEB, we have created a big advantage for our clients due to the development of our online MTD software called Debonair. This is purposely created to be very easy to use and is provided free of charge along with free trading within our charges. If you would like to join us at DEB, we are providing an all-in service for subcontractors inclusive of software, accounts and your tax return for £300 plus VAT. It doesn't matter where you are in the country. If we at DEB can help, then please contact us at help@deb-accountants.co.uk or give us a call on 01226 24 5824. We would recommend that you get yourself sorted for MTD bookkeeping before you're compelled to do so in less than 2 years' time. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you receive notification of our next video to show you how to minimise the time it takes you to do your bookkeeping each month. Thank you for watching this video. Bye for now.